Hello and welcome to another video. Let's solve this equation on the board. Now, to solve this equation, we will observe that the conjugate of 2 plus root 3 is what we have in the second square root sign to be 2 minus root 3. So which means I can express 2 minus root 3 in terms of 2 plus root 3. Or I can decide to express 2 plus root 3 in terms of 2 minus root 3. And to do that, it means I'm going to rationalize, because this is 2 minus root 3, okay, I'm going to rationalize this, but the denominator will be 2 plus root 3. So which means I'm going to rationalize 2 minus root 3 in the second square root sign. So what I will do is I'm going to write this again, parentheses, radical 2 plus root 3, okay, all raised to the power of x plus parentheses radical 2 minus root 3 multiplied by 2 plus root 3, which is the conjugate of 2 minus root 3. You know, the conjugate of a sword is a similar sword with opposite sign. Then I'll divide this product by the conjugate of 2 minus root 3, which is what? 2 plus root 3. And then raise everything to the power of x. Okay, then equals to 4. All right. Then this again, I'll write this again, parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x plus. Now, we have here the product of this sword and its conjugate, and that will give us a rational number. Okay, and this is a difference of two squares. That is, when we have a squared minus b squared, for instance, okay, this will be equals to the product of a minus b and a plus b. So which means in this case 2 times 2, that will be 4. Okay, negative root 3 multiplied by positive root 3, that will be 3. That is root 3 multiplied by negative root 3, that will be minus 3. So that's why we have 4. That's why we have 2 times 2 is 4, then minus root 3 multiplied by root 3, that will be minus 3. So over 2 plus root 3, then all raised to the power of x, then equals to 4. Okay. 4 minus 3 is 1. So which means I'll write this again, parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x plus parentheses radical 1 over 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x equals to 4. Now, this is same as square root of 1 over radical 2 plus root 3. Okay, that is square root of 1 is 1. So which means I can write this to be, that is, I can write this to be, this is same as 1 over radical 2 plus root 3. Okay, so which means that I'll write this again, radical 2 plus root 3, parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x plus 1 over parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x equals to 4. Equals to 4. All right. Now, I'm going to make a substitution in this case. So I can choose a letter from the alphabet to represent this. Okay. So it means I can choose any letter. So let k equals to radical 2 plus root 3. Okay, all raised to the power of x. So which means this will be k plus 1 over k equals to 4. Now, to convert this equation into a quadratic equation, now I'm going to multiply through this equation by letter k. So k times k, this will be k squared. K times 1 over k, this will be 1. This will be 1. K times 4, this is 4k. So that this will be k squared minus 4k plus 1 equals to 0. All right. Now, I'm going to solve this quadratic equation by method of completing the square. So what I will do first is I will carry this plus 1 over to the right hand side to become minus 1. So this will be k squared minus 4k equals to minus 1. Now to complete the square of this, it means that I'm going to add half, that is square of half of the coefficient of k, all right, to both sides. So this will be k squared minus 4k, okay, plus negative 2 raised to the power of 2 equals to minus 1 plus parentheses minus 2 raised to the power of 2. Okay, so that this will be k squared minus 4k, okay, plus 4 equals to minus 1 plus 4. So this is a complete square because this can be written as k minus 2 raised to the power of 2, okay, and this will be equals to minus 1 plus 4, that's 3. Now I can take the square roots of both sides. Take the square root of both sides. So this will be square root of parenthesis k minus 2 squared, then plus or minus square root of 3, so that k minus 2, because the square root of this term, the square root of the square of k minus 2 is the same as the absolute value of k minus 2, okay, and that will be k minus 2. So which means this term must be non-negative, okay, so this will be equals to plus or minus root 3. So I'll carry this over to the right hand side to become plus 2. So k equals to plus 2 plus or minus radical 3. So the two values of k will be k equals to 2 plus root 3 or k equals to 2 minus root 3. So now let's recall, okay? Let's recall. Now we recall that k is equals to parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 all raised to the power of x. Okay, then when k, so when k is equals to 2 plus radical 3, so it means that I will equate 2 plus radical 3 and the power of this will be 1. I will equate it with parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x. All right, now I can again write this. Now I can square both sides, okay. Now let me square both sides. Now squaring both sides of the equation, squaring both sides of the equation, this will be square of parentheses 2 plus root 3 equals to, so when we square this, this will be, we have parentheses radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x, then times 2. So if we square this, okay, this will cancel the square root sign and we'll be left with, so this will be 2 plus root 3 all raised to the power of 2 equals to 2 plus root 3, okay, raised to the power of x. So same base on both sides. So the value of x in this case will be 2. So that will be the value of x when k is equals to 2 plus root 3. Now, when k is equals to 2 minus radical 3, okay, when k is equals to 2 minus radical 3, so it means that I will again what? Equate 2 minus radical 3, okay, 2 minus radical 3, that is, remember we have 2 plus or minus radical 3. So we have, in this case, this will be 2 minus radical 3 will be equals to k, which is the x, that is the x power of radical 2 plus root 3. So that will be on the right hand side in this case. Now, let's go back to what we got from here. Remember that from what I did here, we have that 2 minus radical 3 is equals to 1 over 2 plus radical 3. So this is very important. So I'm going to what? I'm going to substitute this for this on the left hand side in this case. So this will be 2 plus root 3, okay, raised to the power of negative 1, because 1 over 2 plus root 3, that will be parenthesis 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of minus 1. And that will be equals to the x power of radical 2 plus root 3. Now again, I'm going to square both sides. So squaring both sides. Okay, squaring both sides. So I'm going to multiply the power of this by 2. So that this will be 2 plus radical 3 raised to the power of minus 1, then times 2. That will be equals to the x power, the x root, okay, the x power of radical 2 plus root 3, okay, raised to the power of 2x. Now, when we square the square root of, that's radical 2 plus root 3, of course, this will become 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of x. So in this case, we have 2 plus radical 3 raised to the power of minus 2. That will be equals to 2 plus radical 3 raised to the power of x. So same base on both sides. In this case, x will be equals to minus 2. The value of x, okay, is equals to minus 2 when the value of k is 2 minus radical 3. Now let's verify our answer. Now let's verify why the value, is it that when the value of x is equals to 2, are we going to get 4 when we plug in the value of x here? Okay, let's verify. So we are given the x power of radical 2 plus root 3, okay, plus the x power of parenthesis radical 2 minus root 3, okay, equals to 4. Now, when the value of x, when x is equals to, when x is equals to 2, so it means that this will be square of radical 2 plus root 3, okay, square of radical 2 plus root 3 plus parenthesis square of radical 2 minus root 3, okay. Now square of this, okay, we cancel this, so which means will be, this will what, this will reduce to 2 plus root 3, then plus this will reduce to 2 minus root 3. 2 plus 2, that will be 4, then root 3 minus root 3, that will be 0. So which means the value of x, which is, that's the value of x, which is what, 2, okay, satisfies the what, the equation. Again, when we have x to be equals to minus 2, when x is equals to minus 2, so it means that I'm going to raise this, I'm going to raise this to the power of minus 2. So this will be parenthesis radical 2 plus root 3 raised to the power of negative 2 plus parenthesis radical 2 minus root 3 raised to the power of minus 2. Now, if we add these two together, are we going to get 4? Now, first, we need to understand that this is same as 1 over square of radical 2 plus root 3. And this is also 1 over square of radical 2 minus root 3. So which means that this will be 1 over 2 plus root 3 plus 1 over 2 minus root 3. Okay, so in this case, we can perform what we call algebraic multiplication. By algebraic multiplication, algebraic multiplication, that is, I'll multiply this by 1. So that will be 2 minus radical 3 plus 2 plus radical 3 divided by, then I'll multiply the denominator. That will be 2 plus radical 3 multiplied by 2 minus radical 3. So 2 plus 2, that will be 4. Radical 3 plus radical 3, that will be 0. So this will be 4 divided by, now we have a difference of 2 squares. This will give us difference of 2 squares in this case. That will be 2 squared minus root 3 squared. And this will be, that will be equals to 4 over 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So 4 divided by 1. So which means the two values of x, that is x equals to 2 and x equals to minus 2, okay, satisfies the given equation. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Bye-bye.